Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. Okay, going to the community board from last weekend, and one question was up. What's going on with Ted Cruz? The other part of it was in Jim Jordan. So this is going to be a Ted Cruz reading. My other one will be a Jim Jordan reading. And we'll get through my Saturday readings this way. Up to you on Sunday. And looking at the news, all that Ted seems to be up to is saying that it's a travesty of justice that Donald Trump was convicted. It was a political, it's politically motivated. It's an abuse of the rule of law. Got bad news for you, Ted. There might be politics involved because of his him bringing it in, but this is, it's political nature. Trump was running for the president of the United States when these crimes happened. And maybe you're a little bit nervous that if Trump can be convicted, anybody can be convicted. Even senators from Texas. You know, if you haven't done any crimes, then you don't need to worry about it, right? Right? Kind of how that works. You kind of have to have evidence, go through a grand jury, have the grand jury look through the evidence, vote to indict, and then an indictment needs to be brought forward. There's discovery. You can build up a defense. You have a court trial. It could be a jury trial if you like it, or a bench trial if you don't. And you win the ties. You could have one person not vote for guilty thing, and you have a hung jury. Hard to convict people sometimes. Helps if you commit a crime first. Okay, so entertainment purposes only. What's going on with Texas Ted Cruz? You know, it's summertime. It's getting hot in Texas. Might need to flee to Cancun or something like that. Entertainment purposes only. We are greeted with the moon card. Ted's been hiding things, and things are about to be revealed. And this might not just be Ted Cruz. This might be the Republican Party in general. As it was pointed out, Trump is about to, in 6 weeks' time or so, a little over 6 weeks, the Republican National Convention happens, and they are going to be potentially nominating a 34-time felon as their presidential candidate. The Republicans are they're crazy right now. They're running around crazy. Cross with the Six of Swords and the Seven of Coins. I think also Ted's up for election this year, and he's being challenged by Colin Allred, I believe is the fellow's name. And Ted might be on his way out the door here. Underneath is the Seven of Coins. We have money and value. Sorry, Nico is here for a visit. And so he's going to hang. I brought him a chair so he can join me for this reading. So what we have here underneath is the Seven of Coins. It's an evaluation of values and money. So Ted Cruz is looking, I think this is more like his re-election's uncertain. So we'll throw the Trump stuff off right now. He's more worried about not getting his seat back. And I think there's information out there that would indicate he may be on the way out. So if you raise a bunch of cane about Trump, maybe you get the MAGA voters to come out of the election, come out of the water in the election and support you. And I think you're going to see that a lot with the senators and House members who have really tied their fortunes with Trump, maybe to the points of insurrection, like Ted Cruz did, that their fortunes follow Donald Trump's fortunes, and they need MAGA to get them in. So they're going to keep stirring the pot because they need that base to come out and support them. Ted Cruz needs the MAGA base to equate Ted Cruz with Donald Trump. And that's what's going on with all this. In the past, we got the Ace of Wands. Trump being convicted, Ted Cruz has got to take up the mantle. He's got to take up the cause and try and create mayhem, create outrage, and get people, all whipped up into a fury here. Again, because without that, he doesn't raise money, and he might be out of Congress. Current situation is the 9 of coins. Ted's made a nice life for himself. When you can fly out to Cancun or wherever it is that you want to go in the wintertime. He's living a really comfortable life. He's been a senator for a number of years. I imagine he gets his lifetime benefits now. And he's not really ready for the gravy train to end just yet. But if he wants to continue that wonderful life, he's got to get people motivated. Overarching energy is the 4 of Wands. This is his whole thing about Trump isn't about Trump. It's about his re-election. Him getting back in or him being booted out. And he can only get there if Trumpers are motivated and get out and vote. The lesson to be learned, though, is the 9 of Swords. Ted Cruz is not Donald Trump. And Donald Trump is circling downward. He is trending downward as far as his popularity and his influence. He's going to have a short-term spike. But that short-term spike is only with the folks that are already in his camp already. His conviction isn't suddenly going to bring in tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions of new voters to the Trump camp. You know what I mean? It's not like somebody was sitting on the fence and like, oh, wow, Donald Trump got convicted. Well, I can't have that. I got to vote for my outlaw there. Now I know who to vote for. That's not happening. And if anything, if the Republicans feel like, the system's rigged against Trump and their votes don't matter, then they're not going to show up to the polls. And then Ted's not going to get his votes that he needs to be reelected. Trump goes down, there's a lot of Republican candidates are going down too. And he's done this to himself. He has tied himself to Trump. And he doesn't know a way out. There's a lot of anxiety here. Just like Trump has a lot of anxiety about going to prison, Ted Cruz has a lot of anxiety with regards to Donald Trump because he's made Donald Trump his platform. Despite the fact that Ted Cruz, entertainment purposes only, Ted Cruz's dad killed John F. Kennedy or whatever crazy sauced accusations Trump made back in 2016. So Ted Cruz doesn't care about Donald Trump. He doesn't care even a little bit. What he cares about are the MAGA voters, and he's trying to get them activated in play and keep that activation going for a good 6 months. You need to keep this going for, 5 months. June 1st. And the election's beginning in November. You have to keep these people activated for 5 months. This trial happening now and this conviction happening now was great, because if it had happened a few weeks before the election, you'd have a lot of MAGA people making sure that they were going out and voting and stuff like that. But here you got the whole summer you have to endure and distractions and stuff like that. And you're going to have these Republican lawmakers trying to whip them up into a fury for months. When summer's here and they want to go on vacation and do fun things and not clutching their pearls the whole time. So this may not be a winning strategy for Mr. Cruz. Okay. Ted Cruz, he is facing Colin Allred, correct? Quick Google search there. Colin Allred is facing off with Ted Cruz. Let's take a look. What is Ted Cruz's biggest concerns with his re-election against Colin Allred? Let's look at that. It's a bit early to read on the results of the election. But let's see what Ted Cruz's biggest concerns with Colin Allred. My card is upside down. The truth coming out and the devil underneath. His biggest concerns with Colin Allred is that maybe there's going to be some stuff found out about Ted Cruz with his relationship with Donald Trump or with MAGA. Some bad choices that Ted Cruz has made that is about to come visible for everyone to see. Page of Swords, spy in the camp. This could be somebody who worked under Ted Cruz as kind of a whistleblower. This could be Ted Cruz's involvement in the January 6th insurrection. This could be some other scandal that happens involving Ted Cruz and choices. I'm not sure what the Page of Swords is, but something is coming up. It can involve young people, young women. It could involve a lack of skill with something. Maybe we'll get some additional things here. Or just that Colin Allred's a young politician. Young and up-and-coming politician that he's got to face while the truth is coming out. Again, probably with his relationship with Donald Trump. Yeah, and the past is the justice card. So I think that has to do with the Trump trial. Trump being found guilty. For some reason, there is... Maybe this starts turning people off to the Republican Party. And there's less motivation for people to come out and vote, which is going to give Colin Allred a boost because folks aren't turning out to vote for Ted Cruz. Current situation is the Ten of Swords. I think, again, this is why Ted Cruz is trying to gin up the MAGA folks. MAGA folks are angry right now, but they're also feeling defeated because Donald Trump got convicted. He's not Teflon. He's not impervious. It's like it broke the mythology. And I think in some ways they're disheartened by this because if Donald Trump could be defeated or he could be convicted, well, then he's not going to win the presidency type of thing. And they're going to think, they're just going to be demotivated. There's a demotivation coming here, which is going to benefit, again, Colin Allred. Overarching energy is the star. Colin Allred's a football star. He's well known. He's popular. He's well liked. All the things that Ted Cruz is not. Well, Ted Cruz is well known, but he's more infamous than famous. So Ted Cruz is, he's got a campaign that's kind of dead in the water. There's no record to run on. There's no hope because of Trump. And then you've got this young football star and some truths are coming out involving these court cases. This is not working out well for Ted. The lesson to be learned is the Five of Cups. All's not lost, but it's all not good. Even though I see an article down here that a month ago Ted Cruz was up in the polls, I think what you're going to find out is as we get closer to the election, Ted Cruz is losing momentum and Colin Allred is gaining momentum. Outcome is the Three of Cups. Celebration. Women celebrating. If Colin Allred reaches out to the female votes, those three cups that are down, if these women pick it up and start voting for Colin, basically, the women's voting is going to make the difference in Texas. So, whoever can catch the female vote in Texas is going to win that Senate seat there. And I think right now the indications are his concern is women are pulling higher for Colin Allred. I don't know if that's true or not, and I'm not going to go looking it up. But that's how the cards seem to be indicating how things are going for Colin Allred and Ted Cruz. How about how is Ted Cruz feeling after the election? Let's say, what are the emotions of Ted Cruz once the winner of the Texas Senate seat that is his is announced. How is Ted Cruz feeling about that? Knight of Wands, slow progression, next steps. How is Ted Cruz? Is that next steps of him leaving or cleaning out his office? Getting ready for the next next 6-year term for him? Ted Cruz. Let's see. Next steps. We'll do a little 4-carder. Agreements, contracts. We got the Queen of Wands. I think this is the women's vote here. Making money, apprenticeship work. 2 of Wands, planning next steps. 4 of Cups. To me, I think what is happening here is that I don't think he's reelected. You have Republicans stepping over to vote for Democrats because of Trump and health issues that Trump has made. And I believe that, again, that's going to be women doing this, and this is taking away women's rights. This was a foolish thing to do. Your values were shown, and women want their rights back, and they're willing to vote for somebody different. So Ted Cruz is a victim of bipartisanship. And this bipartisanship has been Donald Trump brought together Republicans and Democrats to vote together, and it's women. Ted Cruz, he's done his time in Congress as a senator. He'll probably go on to get some other lobbying job or something like that. He'll be fine for money. But yeah, he's got to look for his next gig. He's not happy with the results. He's not happy with the results. This is how he's feeling. He's well, we could challenge the election. We could say it was stolen. We can audit it. But he might lose by a big enough margin that he is out the door. Now, mind you, again, we are at the beginning of June. It's June 1st as I record this. That's 5 months away. A lot of stuff can happen in 5 months. But I don't think a lot of good stuff is going to happen for Ted Cruz in the next 5 months. I suspect a lot of not so good stuff is going to happen to Ted Cruz over the next 5 months. So take that for what it's worth. Nico, anything else you want to add to that? I'm sorry, did I wake you up? He just had flea meds. I can't pet him too much on the neck. Anyways, thank you very much for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for your likes, shares, everything you do to feed the YouTube algorithm so my video makes it out to a wider audience, including black cat loving people. For folks discovering this channel recently or for the first time, welcome to the channel. I hope you found this reading insightful, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.